We met playing tennis. 6 months later, we're engaged, and 9 months later, married, and very quickly had kids. A year later, 3 years later, Eric and Sophia. It was a really wonderful story, and everything was just incredibly good. And then, unfortunately, she was killed in a car accident on a snowy day on her way to the hospital in Waterville. I got a phone call at 8:30 in the morning. That was it. Eric was 5, Sophia was 3. I felt like I got shoved out of an airplane without a parachute. I was at the top of the world in my career, in my family. Everything was perfect until she was gone. And at that point, it was, what are we going to do now? One of the very first people to knock on my door was Lisa Bertozik. She said, well, I want to talk to you. And I said, well, I don't know that I want to talk to anybody right now. She said, well, I'm not leaving. And she said, you're going to need help with the kids, and the kids are going to need help. And I hadn't even thought that next step because it was just catching my breath at this point. Fortunately, I was able to sort of retire from work. I ended up stepping out of the business. Everybody stepped up, and so I actually could take 5 or 7 years, 100% dedicated to raising my kids. You know, a big part also was, you know, how do you then talk to your kids? The day after the funeral, they said, well, we got to get Eric back to school right away. Fine, you know. So Eric, okay, you know, what? I'm going to take you to school. And he said, well, who's going to fix lunch? I said, well, I'm going to fix lunch. And he said, I said, what do you want? He said, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I said, I'm on it. And so I cut the sandwich and put it in the bag and picked him up. He's crying. At the end of school, I'm like, oh, what happened? And he said, well, Mom cut the sandwich in sailboat shapes and you cut them in squares. And so at that point, I was like, this is a big project. This is not going to be simple. Months later, it wasn't very long, then Lisa said, you know, I have an idea that we'd like to do something to help people like what you're going through and your kids. That's how the relationship with Lory's Place started.
When people leave your life, your loved ones, when they die, people don't understand, unless that's happened to them, how big of an impact it actually is on not only them, but their entire family. Lory's Place is one of the only organizations that I've heard of that helps people go through stuff like that, and they actually understand.
And then finally, it was just you could talk about it. And even like here, the 15 years later now, I'm still choked up. It's tough. So you don't forget, but you move on. You know, one of the direction going forward is, you know, I feel that my kids are very successful in what they do. They have a very normal life. Eric's very successful. Now he's his 3rd year at Michigan Tech in engineering. And Sophia is sort of the special one right now with this passion for equestrian.
After the loss of my mother, I think I needed an outlet to kind of, you know, get both like physical, all kinds of energy out of my body, and that was a great way to do it in a positive way. It's, you know, kind of an honor knowing that that's someone that I was related to, and knowing, you know, how many people that the program has, you know, been able to help is pretty amazing.
I believe the current statistic in the last 15 years, we've helped 33,000 people. That's a fifth of the county. So Lory's Place, I think, has been extremely important to the community, and I just don't understand how a community existed without it prior to. So an investment in Lory's Place is I think it's just huge in the community, because this is an area of need that is completely not addressed. There's no insurance reimbursement, there's nothing that helps people, and it's free. You can turn families around, and I think that small investment in the community at the Lory's Place level, I think, you know, talks to the tune of, again, thousands, 30, 40,000 people that it helps, and that benefit comes right back to the community again. So the cause is really an amazing cause. It's righting the ship. It's putting the sails back up and head downwind. And so that's what the place does for a family that is in need. And there's so many, it's unbelievable how many people this helps.